Hi YouTube, how are you doing? I'm doing pretty good. I'm in my second day for a fast. I just feel good. I cut out the sugar for a while and even that helped this last week, 'cause this past winter now I was into like making cakes, like ones that I wanted to make, and then I felt um, compelled to eat them. So, not all by myself, but yeah. So, I made a few cakes this year, and it just probably wasn't the best idea. But they weren't the most unhealthy ones in the world. I always try to tweak it where it's like healthier, like my spice cake I made with cream cheese and stuff. I mean, no, it wasn't health food, but no. But anyway, I was thinking today how many times people I have seen this where they don't necessarily agree with what their friends are doing or with what a group of people are doing, but they're going to go along with it because they don't want to end up alone. And that's where I excel. It's like I just cannot compromise myself for other people. I wish more people felt like that because I know I've seen people do some pretty awful things for the name of like family or friendships or groups of people, whatever. Like look at like a group of religious people. If there's somebody in their group that they're going to look down on, how hard they're or have a difference of opinion, like I've experienced this in say like uh a Bible study or something when I was a young person, and then you know oh God forbid if you have a difference of opinion or if you ask any questions, that was what confirmation was like for me too. I thought we were learning, but I thought we also would be able to question what we were learning. So it was all pretty weird. So anyway, but yeah, so I had that on my mind, and I just wondered how many people actually. I know, like with teenagers or young people, it's more often that they're going to go along with people and what they want to do to other people, whether it hurts them or not, because like I say, they're afraid of missing out. But how about those ones that never do go along with the group, and then they might be like the odd one, or you know um maybe the chubby one, the short one, the tall one, the weird one, the nerd, or whoever. They just don't fit in a group. And it doesn't matter just on looks, too. It could just be a mindset, with these people. Like, they just refuse. Like, if you're around a group of, like, there was a show I never saw, two shows, Mean Girls and Pretty Little Liars. Um, that just the titles of those shows don't appeal to me for that reason. It's like I never fit in with those ones that were doing that. In fact, I would defend the people that were getting picked on, and that's it. I got in a lot of trouble in my junior high school because I was um, my warrior mindset in public doesn't always, it's not always a good fit, so I mean, I didn't really hurt anybody except for these boys that hurt a little girl um with one arm and a hook. Even her own brother ran off and let these five boys beat this girl up. It took me all year to hunt them down one by one, but I did. and made sure they weren't ever going to pick on anybody again and get away with it, at least from my point of view, if I had anything to say about it. But I got in some trouble enforcing that fact with those boys. So yeah, wasn't the prettiest thing. And then that's some of the time, like I say, I have never started a fight in my adult life, an actual fight. But I have, however, in my childhood, did things that I don't regret to this day for that reason with those types of situations. So I'm not one to just fit in or be afraid or even tolerate people around other people that are treating them poorly. It's just not something I'm going to do. Here's another, for instance. It's like with my adopted parents and wanting to distance myself from them, getting emancipated. And then they wanted to contact me and keep in touch with me. And it didn't work out well anytime I tried, even after I had left their home. So I think about it like this. If I'm not, well, first, if I'm going to divorce my own parents, um, okay, there's these people that will call their parents like names and stuff. Why don't you just go get emancipated? If you don't like them, get out of their lives, cut the ties, and let it go at that. Because I have sons that do not respect me, and they're just going to have to go not respect me somewhere else, you know? And because that's what I did. I could not hold that respect in front of those people. They did not deserve it. So, um, and even if I feel like I do, and I have family members that feel like I'm not worthy of that respect, I don't care either way. I'm at the point now where you're just going to have to think and feel and do how you feel by yourself, because this is the rest of my life. I've taken care of people all my life. I'm done. You know, I've given too much access to my emotional well-being. I've put too much of my well-being in the hands of other people, you know. So I'm not doing it anymore, not for anybody. So, so I just had a few things that I thought I would discuss this morning, because I had passed around a meme that says you can tell about a lot about a man by how he treats his mother. Not always. What if the mother and the man aren't very nice people, and he treats his mother nice, but he would treat his wife poorly, you know? And I've seen it with daughters and dads too, towards a man. So that doesn't always apply. I mean, we would like to think that that would be the way it is, but it isn't necessarily so, you know. But I did share it, and I had my oldest son share it. Now, what he thinks on that, if he thinks that his language towards me and actions and different things my sons have done in front of me and all that is um, the way you treat your mother, then you must have a different mother than the one I feel in my heart, you know? So that's all I got to say on that. I think pretty much. I mean, I'm open for small conversations on a post or something, but nothing private and no phone calls. Nobody has any more access to my emotions anymore at all. I have misplaced my trust and my heart in the hands of people that don't take care of it. So, and they had me chasing after their love and begging like I was unworthy of it. Uh, no, thank you. I can live without that. You know, I was born alone and I'll die alone, and I don't need anybody else to tell me who I am, especially people that are having a hard time figuring out who they are, you know. So it's kind of freaky. The other day, Doug had fixed some of the skirting in the front of the house, and when he had it open, two cats had gotten in here, and they were in the walls of the other room, and I had to. Well, yesterday I had gone out, and one of them came out. It was a red boy, and there was this white one I called long hair. Um, she was in there today. I mean, she was able to get up into the house to eat, and then she'd go back down under the skirting. And so this morning well, yesterday I tried to get her. She's a wildcat, and she's been in here before. I've let them in to come in and clean up some kitty dishes or whatever. I used to have ones that were more tame, and she came in with some of them that are gone now, old age and whatever, predators. But I call her long hair. Long haired freaky kitty is her whole name. Um, so anyway, after that song, signs everywhere, signs. Long haired freaky people need not apply. So anyway, that's her name, or Longy. So anyway, I finally got her out of there this morning. I went and opened it back up once, and she wouldn't come out. And then I opened it up again and backed off and called her, and she finally came out of there. And that was good, because otherwise I had a whole 2-day project, um, getting the floor apart in the other room and getting her out of there by hand somehow, So, yeah, because there's a crack between the wall and the floor where the floor has to be repaired. Doug has made some places in the house where he's got like a sub floor, but he went under and had to like frame it up, reframe it for the foundation so it would be level, and jack it up and plank it and box it in and refloor it, that type of thing. So that room needs to be done, and there's a corner of the house that needs to be level, but everything else, pretty much everything else is done and sound. But yeah, it's old. We had to repair a lot of things, so that's another thing with people in my life. They always like want to depend on me, but nobody's ever cared about what it took to build my life or do anything in my life. It's like they like the benefit, but whether or not, like, if I lost my house due to, like, say, if it was a person's drunkenness or drug habits or whatever, say if somebody comes in your house and they have hard drugs and you don't know and you allowed them in your house, you're jeopardizing your whole life based on somebody you trusted. I've had a lot of weird things happen to me in my life, and people never respected the hard work that it took to keep a place and work for it and pay it off. Could care less. So don't even care if I lost it. It's like, oh, that old bitch can go out on the street. Who cares? I've been out on the street. She can be out on the street. Well, I was out on the street running away from abuse. Not a mother that wanted you to put your porn away so your little brother didn't see it. That's super abusive, wasn't it? Yeah, anyway. I'm not saying I was perfect, and yeah, I spanked my kids a few times, not a lot, but yeah, I did a few times, you know, but I wasn't the harshest person in the world. That I tried to save them from, but that's the person they honor. It's the person I tried to keep them from emulating, but it didn't work. So, oddly enough, my ex-husband and his mom get along really good. Yeah. But then she's the type of woman, like, get this, she is baking bread for the neighbor's husband while the woman was at work. Whoa, there's a doozy, right? Let me bake your buns, baby, while your wife is gone, you know. Mm, not all there. Um, what would the word be? Integrity. There is none. They pretend well, because they fit in this little community as some of the higher ups in this tiny little community, so they had it going on. you know, they still got it going on within their family. They love each other, if you get my drift. So, yeah. And then, like with Doug, he treated his mother with respect, but she didn't deserve it either. But he did, regardless, you know. So, and he'd just walk away when she was doing her bullshit, It's like, see you later, Mom, and he'd go out into the shop and leave me with her. Oh, God, you know. Talk about a test of patience. I'm talking full-blooded Czechoslovakian witch. And I'm not even kidding. I'm not kidding at all. If you knew her craft was her mouth, she could use her mouth in a way that she feigned poor English, like to kind of draw people in with her accent, and then she'd say something like horribly nasty with that accent. And I used to think it was cute. I loved it because I had had a neighbor lady when I was a little kid, that Mrs. Pervovi, that was, I think she was Polish. She could have been German Jew that had come over. Um, like during World War One or after the war or whatever. But she grew tulips and rhubarb in her backyard, and she just was a really nice lady. And it wasn't something that I didn't have a mom that was out in her yard taking care of her flowers. I did most of stuff like that, or my dad did. So, like gardening and whatever. We'd plant tomatoes and radishes and whatever. She wanted like raised garden beds, but she didn't want to get out there and do anything in them, you know. Anyway, so yeah, if you don't want to respect your mother, leave her alone. Just go, like I did. That's what integrity is, you know. And I'm not gonna bother um like people that I don't see eye to eye with. I'm not going to chase after them and beg them to think like I do, because that's a waste of my time. I've tried reasoning with people and trying to make people see where I'm coming from and what I've been through. And you could be going through hell, and there's certain people in life, they could be going through hell too, but they don't consider yours as they're talking to you or interacting with you or want something for you. They don't care what you're going through. And that's where you have to really draw the line and say, this is my time in my life. Like if you're a young parent, I get it. You're going to keep trying with your kid, but after a while, when they start acting like an abusive man instead of the respectful child, that's where you have to draw the line. And I think there's way too many parents out on this planet that are being thoroughly disrespected by young adults that do not want to level up, you know, instead of taking care of their emotional issues, they try to hide them or drink them away or not deal with them, but put their anger of life on other people as like a torture tactic. Because it is torturous when somebody you care about tells you all their sorrows and then, well, throw in calling you names too. Yeah, you want to tell me all your sorrows and you want to call me your nigger? I don't think so. I guess I could be called worse things, right? Oh, anyway, yeah. It's not funny. It's not acceptable in anybody's society, and don't pretend it is, you know. But these people, they'll put these little things in there like that, and in hopes that you'll accept their degrading of you so they can feel better. And that's what they do, you know? I mean, it's just like what Doug says. He's um repented of his ways and would never do things he had done before. And but when I got close to him, there were certain things I had like a list, you know, that he said he was not going to do to me. There might be one on that list that he didn't do. So, I mean, whether or not he's changed, and I hope for his soul's sake that he has, my heart is no longer available to that type of abuse out of anybody. I don't give second chances to trashy people that try to demean me for their own egos. It's just not going to work. I'm too good of a person and work too hard to be that good person in my life to have somebody try and act like I'm not, you know, people that would never lend a helping hand to ones that have helped them. Wouldn't even consider it. Would rather help a stranger. Would rather be gentle voiced or use appropriate language with a stranger than they would with their own blood relatives. Well, that's okay, because in some families, calling each other names is acceptable to them, but that's that family, not mine. So I just thought I'd really talk about fitting in with other people. Where do you want to fit in, really? And who? Who are you wanting to fit in with? You know? I mean, you could say, well, I'm blazing a path and it's my own and I don't want to fit in with anybody. That's cool too. Within society, how acceptable is that? you know? Well, anyway. Ooh, the other day I had made lentil soup with some ham and onion and potato in there. It was pretty good. It was really filling. I wasn't even hungry last night. It's like, and my motto, if I don't need it, I don't eat it. Well, that didn't always apply like this last maybe 20 years. Going through injuries and stuff, I had some times in my life where I didn't feel like I was getting enough nutrients, whether it was injuries that I've had with my intestines and different things. I've been punched and smashed and kicked and kicked by a horse and all kinds of smashed by a horse, different things. So I was thinking maybe it was, and then during an operation, I know they nicked me there. So yeah, they were hoping I'd go septic and not be able to survive, but I found ways to take care of myself, detoxing and fasting and that type of thing. So, but yeah, that worked last night. I don't need it. I'm not gonna eat it, so I didn't, and I feel better. So I don't know what it will be for supper tonight if I eat it. I'm thinking salad, something with the salad, maybe cottage cheese and salad and stuff, or some eggs. I don't know yet. But so I just wanted to make it perfectly clear. I don't know if my son's going to watch this. I love you, but I can't deal with um, your persona of me. How you think of me is how you think of me, and it's not acceptable to me, and we don't see eye to eye on that. So I I don't I've never up and left my children. I've never not cared about them or their welfare or their housing. Just right up until recently, I finally was like, okay, both of these men are acting like what I had kicked out of my life. So what do I do now? And it's like, well, they either understand where they crossed the line or they don't, because that thing I was married to is never going to tell the truth that I was the best thing that he ever had in his life. And nobody stood behind him. Not like that. Not not um not for his soul like that. So, it's all they can pretend all they want to pretend, but and they can act with less moral virtues and pretend they have more. They can do whatever they want to do, but they'll be doing it without me. So, like I say, you talk on post to me and whatever, but people have lost access to abuse my emotions because I'm not giving them to you anymore. Well, yeah, I've gone out of my way and I mean, made phone calls to help people when they didn't even know it was me helping them, or if I did try to help and then somehow something funky would turn on me if it didn't go their way. All weird stuff. It's like uh, bringing people in my house that just don't want to participate in my life but want to just come and be in their home, in my home, if you know what I mean. So it's like, no more, no more. They gotta do it for themselves like I did, and they could say, well, you had Doug. Oh, really? When he couldn't afford to make house payments, who had who? And who fed who? Yeah. If I wouldn't have had this place, I had mine before I moved here, and I would have had another one. So it's not a matter of um having somebody beside me, because we have never been emotionally close. I do not have anybody in my life to fall back on emotionally like people want to take from me. Where do I take? Who hugs me? Who consoles me? Nobody. That's who. So maybe some of you are going through this too because, I mean, there's been injured or lazy or addicted people for many generations now. This isn't anything new in the world. You know, the things that happen to people that put them off out of society or estrangement or whatever happens, you know, whether it's the parents or the kid or whatever, a spouse, you know. But I just wanted to talk a little on that today because I will not chase love from anybody. You either get it and know it's the best from me as your friend or loved one, or you don't get it and you have to go and be with the people you respect because I won't tolerate the disrespect. So, okay, everybody, have a really good night or day wherever you're at. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA.